So in this video, we'll just do a quick overview of how to install FFmpeg. Now, first of all, you must always check if you have FFmpeg installed. Just open up any terminal and type out FFmpeg. If you see all of this here, it means that FFmpeg is already installed. You don't have to install it. In case you do have to install it, and if you have homebrew installed, okay, if you have homebrew installed, you can simply write brew install ffmpeg. That is, you could simply do brew install ffmpeg and that would work. If you do not have homebrew installed, I highly recommend that you should have it. How do you install homebrew? Just Google homebrew and you will land on this page, brew.sh, and all you have to do is copy and paste this line. Just copy it right from here, paste, enter. It may ask you for your password. That would be it. It will install homebrew. You may have to restart your terminal. So once you have homebrew installed, you can go back to this and do brew install ffmpeg. That is right, brew install ffmpeg right here. It should work out. In case you don't know what a terminal is, ffmpeg is then not for you. You have to be comfortable with the terminal before you can understand how to use ffmpeg. Okay. Apart from that, that's it. It was a quick video. Thank you. So in this video, we're going to learn how to trim video parts, or how to extract a particular segment of a video. So I have a couple of sample videos here. So I have a 1-minute timer video here. I hope you can see this. So this 1-minute timer video is nothing. It's just a video of a minute. It's a 1-minute long video. But I also have a timer added to it. You can see there's a timer right up here. So there's a timer added on the upper right hand corner. It matches with how long the video has been going on. It's just a time-lapse simple video of so as you can see, it's showing 20 seconds and we are 20 seconds into the video as well. So this is just a sample video just to understand at what time frame are we working at. So now, how do you trim a section out of a video very quickly? For example, if you want to remove the first 10 seconds but keep the rest. Now keep in mind, this is a 1-minute video. It's a 1-minute video. So if you want to remove the first 10 seconds, that is, we want to keep the video from 10 seconds up to 1 minute. Now in that case, how do we do that? So first of all, I am in my FFmpeg directory. This is the directory which contains all of these files. You can check this out by using ls. I hope you can see this very clearly. In any case, I'll just make this a little bit bigger. Ls. Yes, I hope this should be visible. Anyways, so now how do I remove the first 10 seconds but keep the rest? Now for that, we must begin the video at 10 seconds. And how do we achieve that? Very simply, FFmpeg. The command is FFmpeg. Now we give the input file, that is given by -i. Now here I am using 1-minute timer as my input file. So FFmpeg I 1-minute underscore timer as my input file. So -i here is the input file. Now, when do we want to start our output file? We want to start from the 10th second, because we want to remove from 0 to 10. So we want to start the file at the 10th second. So we start it by using -ss. Now ss tells you the start timer of our output video. Now there are two ways in which we can do this. We could have done this either as 10. Okay, now 10 here stands for 10 seconds. I'll just give an example, and then we'll give the output file name. Let's say the output file name is 10 to end. I'll just tell you why did I do an end .mp4. Okay, I did an mp4 here. So let me just add one more thing here, slow. Okay, now you'll just see in a second why did I append this slow word here. So if we do this right here, if I run this command, you will see, so we see a lot of output, and then there is something that is going on here. So as you can see that the speed is 0.8x, which means that a 1-minute video would take somewhat longer than a minute, or almost a minute. So you can see that we have completed 20 seconds of this. Now of course this is a slightly slower method. There is also a faster method. Both of them have their advantages and disadvantages. We'll come to that in just a second. So let's just complete this one. Alright, so this is done. So when it is over, my command prompt returns. So now if we look right here, so there is a 10 to end slow. The output file that I had written here was 10 to end slow. And if I were to open up this file, remember we removed the first 10 seconds. So if I alright, why don't we do that? Why don't we first take the fast one as well? So if now there is one more way that we could have done this faster as well. Same command, okay, but instead I'm going to add one more thing here, -c copy, okay, -c copy, and I'm going to change this to fast. Okay, now you will see what did I do here. So this one took us almost a minute. This 1 minute video almost took us a minute. And what about this one? Pay attention. And it's done already. Okay, it's done already. So you could see that this fast one is already done, whereas that took us about a minute. This one is done already. So now what is the difference between this slow process and this fast process? Now remember, we removed the first 10 seconds. So if I were to open up this slow one, it started exactly at 10. You will see this right here. Okay, so if I were to restart this video, okay, so it is going to start exactly at 10 seconds. We remove the first 10 seconds, so it's going to start exactly at 10 seconds. And if I play it, it's a 50-second video, so it is going to go up to a minute. Okay, but if I were to play this fast video, now the issue here is it's going to start at 3. Okay, it started at 13. So basically it started at 12. Actually it started at 12. I cannot go any further back. Okay, I cannot go any further back. The video has started at 12 only. Okay, now so why did this happen, or what is the advantage or disadvantage of this slow method versus this fast method? The slow method is accurate. It will give you the exact duration. It will start at the exact time that you have mentioned. It will stop at the exact time that you have mentioned. But the fast one has an error of a couple of seconds. So but it takes place very fast. It happened very quickly. So if you are fine with a couple of seconds being up or down, then I recommend you go by the fast method. But if you have to maintain accuracy, uh, if you have to maintain complete accuracy of the time mentioned, then I recommend that you go by the slow method. Okay, so let me just copy down both of these commands. Now one more thing, so as you can see that there is a lot of output here. So how do we reduce all of this output as well, because there's a lot of useless data here as well. I'll just quickly copy this. So this was the fast one, so this was the fast one, okay, and then the slow one. There was no C copy here. Okay, I named it slow. You can see the full command right here. Okay, so this was the slow one, this was the fast one. It took almost a minute. This took place almost instantly. Now, so this is how do you remove the first 10 seconds. How about if you want to remove the last 10 seconds? Okay, now if you already know the time frame, that makes it much easier. Okay, so let's say that since we already know that this is a one minute video, and I want to remove the last 10 seconds. Okay, that is, in this case my video would actually be from 0 seconds to 50 seconds. Okay, obviously sometimes you may not know the duration. We'll check out that example as well. But let's say you do not know how. Let's say that in this case we do know what is the duration of the video file. Now the format for that is FFmpeg, same thing, -i 1 minute underscore timer. This is our input file. Okay, now here what we want to do is want to keep it from the beginning up to 50 seconds. Okay, so from the beginning up to 50 seconds, if you are starting the file right from the beginning, we do not have to mention the ss part. This is not required if you are starting the file from the beginning. But since we want to end at this particular time interval, we can either use -t50. Okay, this tells me that I have to go up to 50 seconds, or I could also use to up to 50. Both of these mean the same thing in this context here, but I usually go with -t. It's easier and lot less confusing. So t50, and then let's give it as 0 to 50. Let's keep this as slow.mp4. Okay, now this is again a 50-second video. Let's see now. Acha. So one more thing that I was about to tell you is how do you prevent all of that output from coming. So there is a very simple way to do that, that is hide underscore banner. Okay, this is part one of it. How do you reduce the output? And the other part is log level panic. Okay, now if you use these two flags, your output would be very limited and you won't see a lot of useless output. So if you run that, okay, so as you could see, there is almost no output. I think we should have put log level info here so that at least you could have known if this command is working or not. I think we are going to stop this one right here and let's put this as log level info. Okay, this is slightly better. It will give you some information. So I am going to do the exact same thing here. So the command is exactly the same, FFmpeg. This is just to reduce the amount of output. 1 minute timer. This is our input file. Up to 50 seconds, starting from the beginning. Up to 50 seconds, 0 to 50 slow.mp4. Our output we want as mp4. Now if I were to run this, so we are getting some output, but it is asking me if I want to override this file. I can do a y here. Okay, so as you can see that this is approximately going at 1x the speed, so it will still take me around 50 seconds, 50 to 40 seconds. You can see how much time has been completed right here. So just a few more seconds to go. So as you can see that there is much less output this time. And if you were to set this log level to panic, then there will be almost be no output. However, I still recommend you put it as log level info. So this is done. As you could see, this still took some time. And if we do the fast version, how do we do the fast version? By simply appending a -c copy. Okay, if we do that, we can change this to fast. Okay, but again the issue is of accuracy. So, and we are done. Okay, we are done already. So again, if we check those out, so this time it was, so this time the command that we ran was 0 to 50 fast and 0 to 50 slow. So if I were to run 0 to 50 slow, so as you can see that began exactly at 0. Let me just pause it. Okay, so it began exactly at 0 and it will end exactly at 50, or rather 49. It will end at 49. But if we were to run the 0 to 50 fast, now it will begin at the right time because that is not where we have cut. Okay, so it will begin at 0, but it would end at probably a different time. So 49, 50. Okay, so this one it did go up to 50, but the previous one went up to 49, and that was a bit more accurate. You will see. So it stopped at 49. So if accuracy is not a concern, if a couple of seconds accuracy is not a concern, then you can go by the fast one. But if accuracy is important, then you should go by the slow method. Now, so this is when we have to remove some parts. This is when we have to remove some parts of it. Let me just quickly copy it. So 0 to 50 fast, copy. Okay, I will just show this command to you. This is the fast method. Okay, and then of course we have the slow method as well. Slow but accurate. So the slow method was something like this. So the only difference between these two commands is the -c copy here. Okay, now -c copy, what -c copy does it copies the entire video as it is, okay, without demuxing it, without demuxing, or rather without encoding it. Encoding right now is not that important. You could simply understand it is that it copies it as it is without any quality change. This method prevents any quality degradation. So hide banner log layer info, this is just helpful in preventing too much output. Now, so in the first case we remove the first 10 seconds, in the second case we remove the last 10 seconds. Now what if we want to keep only a portion in between? Okay, that is, let's say, what if you want to keep, or let's say you want to remove the first let's say 5 seconds, and also remove last, let's say 15 seconds, okay. Now again, since here we already know the video duration, so if you are removing the first 5 seconds, then my actual video is starting at 5 seconds and it is going up to, if you are removing the last 15 seconds as well, it is going up to 45 seconds, okay. Now, so there are two things, there are two ways in which we could have achieved, there are two ways in which we can achieve this. Basically our video is going to start with from 5 seconds up to 45 seconds. Now there are two ways in which we can do this. The first way is FFmpeg minus hide banner, okay, log level info. This is just again to suppress the output. Log level info minus I is 1 minute timer. Okay, this is the same input file. Now, so there are two ways to do this. I'll show you both of the ways. Now the first way is obviously when are we starting from, and to put a filter on timer on the starting point we use -ss. Okay, now since we want to start from 5 seconds, so we'll put the ss as 5. Okay, now since we want to end the video at 45 seconds, okay, we want to end the video at 45 seconds, there are two ways in which you can do this. The first way is by specifying the end point, the other way is by specifying the duration. Okay, now what does the end point and duration mean? Very simply, so if my video is running from 5 seconds to 45 seconds, the duration is going to be 40 seconds. Okay, the end point is 45 seconds, but the duration is 40 seconds. So when we use -t here, it implies the duration, okay, from 5 seconds to how much longer do we want the video to go on. So we want an extra 40 seconds, because from 5 seconds up to 45 seconds duration has to be 40 seconds. So we want the video to go an extra 40 seconds. This is method number 1. Okay, it will give you the same result. And let's say let's just go by the slow method. In this case, it's not a very large video anyways. We'll do 5 to 40, rather 5 to 45, 5 to 45 t.mp4. Obviously this is a slower method. Okay, it's going to take some time. So the important thing here is we took the duration here. Okay, we took the duration here. So it started from 5 seconds, went up to 40 seconds more, so a total of 45 seconds. We will also check out the output as well. So we have completed 37 seconds. Alright, so done. So if we were to play that file, let's say, so this was 5 to 45, right? So 5 to 45, now see, it begins at 5 seconds. It begins at 5 seconds. It's a 40-second video and the end point would be at 45. This is at 43. There's still some time. So if I play it, so if I were to play it, it would end at 44. Okay, because again, it does not go up to 45. So this is when we use the duration. Okay, that is, here the duration was 40 seconds. But what if we want to specify the end point? If you want to specify the end point, so in that case we simply use TO. In that case we use TO, and now our endpoint is up to 45th second. Okay, so this goes on from the 5 second of the original video to the 45th second of the to the 45th second of the original video. Now here I'm going to use TO, okay, and if we go do that again, now this is obviously again I'm using the slow method. The fast method would be slightly inaccurate. If you want to use a fast method, just put a -c copy right before the output file. I'll show an example as well. So this is done up, so 29 seconds have been done. We are only going up to 45. Okay, so this is the one that we did right now. So as you can see, this also began at 5 seconds. This also began at 5 seconds and it would end at 44 seconds. Okay, this is almost at the end point. It would end at 44 seconds, essentially 45 seconds. Now, so both of these do exactly the same thing, but the difference between T and TO. Okay, let me just copy the commands. So the first, let's look at the T command. So in case of T command, we specified the duration, okay, and in case of the TO command, we specified the endpoint. Okay, so I think so the difference here was that we gave the duration from 5 seconds and the next 40 seconds after the 5th second, and from here we mentioned the starting point and the end point. Okay, now I guess this is it for this video. So you could have removed from the beginning, you could have removed from the end, or you could have removed from the beginning and the end as well. Okay, so you can use any of these commands. Obviously, yes, to make it faster, all you had to do was add a -c copy right here. Okay, doing this would have made the video go fast. It would have been slightly inaccurate, but it would have made it go much faster. Okay, so that's it for this video. We will continue, we'll discuss more details, or we'll discuss more commands right in the next video. That's it. Alright, so in this video we'll just check out one more way to put the timers when you want to trim parts of a video. So in our last case, when we wanted to trim out, let's say, the first 10 seconds, the command that we used was ss10. Okay, now 10 by itself means seconds here, but our video obviously was a 1-minute video. But what if it was not a 1-minute video? What if it was let's say a 15 minutes video, or let's say it was a 2-hour video? In that case, how do we specify the time interval? Very simply, in that case, what you would have done is FFmpeg minus FFmpeg minus I. You have to specify the input file here. Let's say the input file is same 1-minute timer. Okay, let's say starting at, now how do we specify hours, minutes and seconds? So let's say 00, 00 and let's say 20. Okay, so what this means here is hours, minutes and seconds. Okay, so if you have a long enough video, you can use this method as well. So basically this represents HH, mm and SS. Obviously the accuracy is also up to milliseconds, but I have never had to use that actually. So so you can use this convention as well. Now of course you could have used the same thing for time, duration or endpoint as well. Now if we were to use, let's say, -2 here, okay, if we were to use the 2 flag here, that would imply the end point. Okay, that would imply the end point. What does that mean? So let's say if I want to keep let's say if I want to keep start the video from the 20th second up to let's say 55 seconds. Okay, from the 20th second up to 55th second. Okay, so in that case, how would I have specified it? 20 seconds up to 00, 00, so hours, minutes and seconds, that is 55 seconds. Let's go by the fast method here. Let's say 20 to 55 2.mp4, Of course, there's going to be a lot of output in this particular case because I have not used hide banner or log level. Let's just still then check it out anyways. So if I do this here, let me just check if start timer 20, end timer is 55. All right, so this is from 20 seconds up to 55 seconds. If I do an OK, so as you could see that we saw all of this output, then there is something going on here. So the speed is still 0.7, but this is not a very long video. Okay, now you may be a bit confused here that we started the video from 20 seconds here, okay, but it is showing 20, but a few seconds back it showed 15 seconds or 10 seconds. Now in this case we have to understand that when you do SS, the timing of the video resets. Okay, the timing of the video resets, that is now 20 seconds will be counted as the beginning of the video, okay, or 20 seconds will be counted as 0. Okay, so if I were to check this one out, so I named this 20 to 55, 20 to 55, here we are. Okay, this is 2 using the duration. So as you can see that this began at 20 seconds. Okay, as you can see that this began at 20 seconds and is a 35-second video. So if we go up to the end, it will end at 54. Okay, it will end at 54. Okay, now we could have also done the duration one as well. Now if you wanted to go by the duration, so for the duration part, now if you are going from 20 to 55, the duration of the video, or how long the video would have been, is 35 seconds. Okay, so at that case, when we are using the T flag or the duration flag, we would have used 30 seconds, sorry, not 30 seconds, 35 seconds. Okay, from 20 seconds and the next 35 seconds. So 20 to 55 T. Of course, we will suppress all the output. Okay, so hide banner and hide underscore banner. Okay, and then we have log level info. Okay, so info gives you some information at the very least. Okay, so info gives you some information, whereas if I had written panic here, panic, then it would have given us no information. The file would have simply completed. Okay, so as you can see, it began somewhere 13 seconds. That is because the start timer has now been reset. So obviously it will be a 35-second video, so it will go only up to 35. It will end much before that actually. So as you can see, it ended right before it hit 35. So if we open up the other file, 25 to 55 T, okay, so as you can see that it begins at 20, okay, because we wanted to start the video at 20, and it will end again at 54. It's a 35-second video. It will end at 54. Okay, it's at the end. Okay, so I guess that's it for this video. Alright, so in this video we are going to learn how to convert from one format to another. For example, some of you may have some videos which are in the MP4 format, or maybe for example you may have some videos which are in the MP4 format, or you may have some videos which are in the AVI format, or they could be in MKV format. Now how do you interconvert those into each other very fast, okay, without any quality loss, or without taking this, or without it taking up too much of your time? It's very simple. So again, we'll take the example of the 1-minute timer MP4 and we'll try to convert this to MKV. This is very simple. So FFmpeg as usual, minus I tells you the input file. So we'll take 1-minute timer. So this is our input file. Now we want to, let's say, convert this into an MKV file as it is without any changes. We want to convert the entire file into an MKV file very fast. So minus C copy. Okay, then whatever name you want to put it, let's say mp4 to mkv.mkv. okay, that is all that you have to do. You have to simply put a minus C copy here, and then whatever format you want it right here. Of course this will give a lot of output, so I just will decrease that. So hide banner, okay, and log level info. Okay, so that's it, and as you will see, this will be done very quickly. So, and it's done already. Okay, it's done already. So if I were to play this file, there is the mkv format right here. So if I were to play this, as you can see, this is now an mkv file. Okay, there is zero quality loss, and it begins and it begins at 0. Okay, as you can see here, and it is a 1-minute file ending at 59. Okay, you can see it will end at 59. Okay, so you can use this script to convert an entire directory of files. So I'll just copy down this one. So you can use this script to convert an entire directory of files. Of course, you could have used this to convert from mkv to mp4. In that case, this would just have been an mkv. This would have been an mp4. Now, so what if you have an entire directory of files? Okay, what if you have an entire directory of files? Now for that we can use a loop. Okay, for that you can use a loop. Now, so the format of a loop looks something like this. For let's say you have a directory full of mp4 files. Let's say that you have a directory full of mp4 files, and you want to convert them into mkv files. Let's say you have a movies folder, all of mp4, and you want to convert that to mkv. So how do you do that? You simply run a loop. Now how do we write loops in bash? So I'm first of all going to write it right here, then I'm going to copy that there. So the way you write loop looks something like this. For f in whatever the format is, let's say you have all of them in mp4, like I have it here. Okay, for f in $mp4 do. Okay, so do gives you do tells the command prompt what does it have to do. What does it have to do? You have to run the ffmpeg command. So ffmpeg minus hide banner. You could use this, you could emit this, entirely up to you. Hide underscore banner minus log level info. Okay, minus I. Now my input file is going to be this f command here. Why? Because if I were to write an ls here, okay, I have this mp4, I have this mp4. Okay, so for one point f will be this, the other point f would be this one. Okay, so so f in star mp4 yani ki means that this will convert these two files. Do ffmpeg hide banner log level info 1 $f. Okay, so $f means whatever file it is handling right now. Okay, whatever file it is handling right now. What do we want to do is we want to convert this into mkv. So minus c copy into mkv. Now how do we do that? We'll have to use some string manipulation. If you're not familiar with string manipulation, I suggest you read up on that. So how do we manipulate the string here? We use same thing, double quotation here, dollar bracket open f star percent. Okay, so this means whatever is after the last dot. Okay, for example, if I were to look here, after the last dot we have mp4 here. Okay, so instead of the last dot we want it to be mkv here. Okay, now this basically let's put a converted here. Let's put a converted word here. Okay, to mkv. So essentially what it does here is, this is obviously our output file. This is our output file. What it is doing here is that it will keep the same name. Okay, it will keep the same name, but whatever is after this dot, that is mp4, this part gets removed and it will add a dash converted mkv. Okay, so let's run this command, then you will get it. So anyways, we are inside a loop, so do ffmpeg and then we will add a done. Okay, so this means that now our command is complete. So if I were to copy this command and paste it right here, I have not yet run it, so I'll just show it to you once again. So for f in $mp4, okay, so sorry, dollar. So for f in star mp4, star.mp4 means all of the files that end in mp4. So mp4 here, mp4 here, these two obviously do not end in mp4. Even this is an mkv, so it is not going to get lifted. It is not going to get listed. Do, it tells, it is asking for the command that you want to run. So ffmpeg hide banner log level info, whatever, this is just to reduce the output, minus I $f. So input file is whatever the f is at that point of time, minus c copy, so that the process goes very fast and there is absolutely no loss, quality loss here. So star f star percentage converted to mkv. Okay, I want to convert this from mp4. We started from mp4, we want to mkv with the same name, and done. So if I were to run this, bad substitution, what did I make, where did I make a mistake here? Did I do a percentage and that error here? Probably that is what I did. Do done. I probably messed this up right here. Yeah, so I messed that up. So as you can see, we are already done. Okay, we are already done. So if I were to show you the, so as you can see here, so 1 minute timer has converted to 1 minute hyphen converted mkv. This is just for understanding, and your 1 minute video has converted to 1 minute converted mkv. Everything else remains exactly the same. The size is exactly the same. The duration would also be exactly the same. For example, if I were to run this, so 1 minute timer, so starts at 0, ends at 59, and 1 minute timer mkv converted. Okay, exact same thing. It would start at 0, end at 59. Okay, the format has been changed. Okay, so you can use this to convert entire directories of movies or videos from one format to the other very quickly without any change in quality. I guess that's it for this video. I'll see you.